brushing off reins and bridle, the ostrich-like Chocobo is headed back to the mystery dungeon for the first time since the original PlayStation. With memories to restore, job classes to learn, and card games to master, the feathered hero has his work cut out for him. But is this dungeon crawler a rotten egg?
I think being different is a wonderful thing.
This time out, Chocobo gets whisked off to the city of Lost Time, where the villagers lose important memories whenever the tower bell tolls. Soon after his arrival, an egg falls from the sky, hatching a green-haired baby boy, with the power to enter fragmented minds and recover lost memories. The pair then sets out to restore all the minds of the townsfolk and thwart the powers of the Bell of Oblivion.
Oh, I'm starting to remember now!
As you sift through each villager's mind, you'll experience spoken flashbacks. But aside from a few that hint at past tragedy, the villagers' lives simply aren't that interesting.
I'm gathering all the flowers I can!
Poor dialogue and overacting hurt the experience, but the plot is fairly enjoyable and has its share of mystery, despite its simplicity.
Have no fear. Romantic Hero X is here.
The city is rather small, with just 4 main areas to explore. There are several shops and facilities at your disposal to stock up, but most of the game takes place within the minds of each citizen. Each dungeon is randomly generated, requiring you to descend through a set number of floors to reach a boss. You can take the time to scour for items or simply hop down a staircase to the next level. While the concept of random dungeons sounds like a ticket to endless exploration, in practice the simple layouts are far too repetitive, and it doesn't help that most levels have the same bland brown background. To relieve the eyes, you'll also journey through 4 elemental dungeons, which are more challenging and much larger than the standard levels. Special dungeons challenge you with specific restrictions, like one quest that must be completed with a single hit point. The special arenas understandably restrict you from bringing your own equipment, but rather than restoring your inventory afterwards, the game forces you to tediously pick up your goods from storage and re-equip accessories. Between dungeons, there are a few diversions within the town. You can exchange romantic phrases for prizes, play some quick mini-games, or engage in the card-battling pop-up duels against the computer or friends online. Completing the game can take 20 to 30 hours, but you have to question whether you really want to spend this much time mired in repetition.
Chocobo, stop distorting the future.
Chocobo's dungeon makes use of a turn-based battle system with movement taking place across grids. For every action you take, enemies take an action in turn. Much of the strategy lies in using this system to your advantage. If an enemy is one space away, it's better to waste a turn to draw it closer than to move in and let it get the first hit. It's also best to retreat to narrow hallways to avoid getting surrounded. In one stroke of ridiculousness, you can heal by simply running in place. Dungeons are full of hidden traps, so if you want to avoid them, you'll have to constantly kick with each step, which can get rather tedious. You can use a basic attack, boot items into enemies, or read spellbooks to attack. Additionally, you'll master job classes with a range of special abilities such as the Black Mage's elemental spells or the Dragoon's jump. In terms of weapons and armor, you'll find saddles and claws scattered throughout dungeons, but the strongest equipment is custom made by fusing and honing items at the town forge. There is a strong foundation to Chocobo's strategy, but the challenge is uneven. When you are defeated, it's usually due to misjudging a random enemy, as most bosses are pushovers. This isn't the war steed of more serious Final Fantasy games. This Chocobo is the most plush, wide-eyed, merchandisable character in the FF universe, and this game is clearly aimed at kids. The town and character models look nice, but dungeon and enemy designs are bland and lifeless in comparison. Sure, this is the Wii, but Square Enix has accomplished much more on the PlayStation 2. The soundtrack is composed of a variety of tracks from past Final Fantasy games, making it easy on the ears. The voice work is inconsistent, with minor characters sounding considerably worse than the leads. No attempt was made at lip-syncing either, as characters flap their jaws well after they're finished speaking.
That's right! I remember now! I'm a blacksmith!
In all, the production values are well below usual Square Enix standards. The groundwork for a decent RPG is buried somewhere near the heart of Chocobo's dungeon, but it's the same baseline that's been recycled in every mystery dungeon game. Players new to the formula may enjoy it for a while, but the uninspired random levels quickly get monotonous, even for first-time dungeon crawlers. Final Fantasy fans will find it to be below expectations, and without any significant additions to the canon, a relatively pointless play.